Some trucks don't just get repaired, they get erased, not stolen, not scrapped, completely wiped off the system, as if they never existed in the first place. And then, somehow, months or even years later, they're back on the road again, driving legally, passing inspections, and showing up with brand new identities that don't match anything in the old records. So how does a deleted truck become 100% legal again? And what are mechanics really doing behind the scenes with something people call the ghost plate loophole? Because if you believe the internet, there's a hidden world where wrecked, written off, and even deregistered trucks are quietly brought back to life using paperwork tricks, VIN magic, and license plates that don't officially exist in any database. But the real story is more complicated, more technical, and honestly, way more interesting than the rumors. Let's break it down. Some trucks get labeled as deleted after severe accidents, insurance write-offs, flood damage, or illegal modifications. Once that happens, the vehicle is essentially removed from active registration databases. In many cases, the insurance company pays out, the registration is canceled, and the chassis is flagged as non-roadworthy. To most people, that truck is done forever. But in the automotive world, especially in rebuild and salvage industries, done doesn't always mean destroyed. It often just means needs a new legal identity. And that's where mechanics, inspection officers, and rebuild specialists come in. Now, here's where the internet starts mixing truth with fiction. The term ghost plate loophole sounds like something out of a crime documentary. A plate that doesn't exist, a truck that can't be traced, a legal blind spot in the system. But in reality, most legitimate rebuild processes don't rely on ghost plates at all. What they rely on is documentation, inspection, and recertification. Let's talk about how a deleted truck actually comes back legally. When a vehicle is written off, it's not always physically destroyed. The chassis, engine block, transmission, and frame may still be salvageable. In many countries, these components can be reused, but only under strict rules. A professional mechanic or rebuild shop will first strip the truck down completely. Every damaged structural component is assessed. If the frame is too far gone, it may be replaced. If it's repairable, it's reinforced and brought back to factory specifications. But here's the critical part, the identity of the vehicle. Every legal vehicle has a VIN, a vehicle identification number. Think of it like a fingerprint. When a truck is deleted, that VIN is flagged in government and insurance systems. So how does it come back? It doesn't get erased and replaced in any legal rebuild process. Instead, it goes through a reactivation pathway. The rebuilt vehicle must be inspected by certified authorities. They check structural integrity, emissions compliance, brake systems, electrical systems, and overall roadworthiness. If it passes, the vehicle can be reclassified as a rebuilt or reconstructed title. That means it's legal again, but with a history. This is where things get misunderstood online. People hear about trucks returning with new plates and assume something shady is happening, like ghost plates or identity swapping. But in legitimate systems, new plates are issued because the old registration is no longer valid, not because the vehicle is hiding its identity. Now, there are illegal practices that muddy the waters. In some regions, bad actors attempt VIN tampering, cloning, or using stolen documentation to make a vehicle appear legitimate. This is where the idea of a ghost plate loophole often comes from. But here's the key distinction. That is not legal rebuilding. That's fraud. And authorities are extremely strict about it because modern databases are interconnected. Insurance records, customs data, and registration systems can cross-check inconsistencies instantly in many countries. So how do legitimate mechanics actually bring these trucks back? They work within salvage laws. A truck that has been declared a total loss can often be purchased at auction by licensed rebuilders. These professionals then submit repair plans, replacement part documentation, and inspection requests. Every major component change is recorded. Once repairs are complete, the vehicle undergoes a roadworthiness inspection. Only after passing this inspection is it allowed back on public roads with a new or updated registration status. It may get a new license plate, yes, but that plate is fully registered, traceable, and tied to the rebuilt VIN. No ghosts involved. Now, Here's where it gets interesting. Some trucks are deleted, not because they are damaged, but because of administrative or import-export issues. For example, a truck imported temporarily into a country may be deregistered when it leaves. If it comes back through legal channels, it can be re-registered after inspection and customs clearance. Again, this can look like a dead truck coming back to life, but it's really just paperwork catching up with reality. So why does the ghost plate myth exist at all? Because people see the end result without seeing the process. They see a completely wrecked truck on social media. Then months later, the same model driving on the road with a clean finish and new plates. What they don't see is the rebuild timeline, the inspection process, the documentation stack, or the compliance checks in between. And when information is missing, imagination fills the gap. Now, let's talk about what mechanics actually have to deal with during these rebuilds. It's not just hammering metal and replacing parts. It's precision measurement of chassis alignment. It's sourcing OEM grade components that match factory specs. It's making sure airbags, sensors, and ECU systems are fully reset and calibrated. Modern trucks are essentially computers on wheels. If even one module doesn't match factory configuration, the vehicle can fail inspection. That's why legal rebuild shops are often highly specialized. They're not just mechanics, they're engineers, compliance experts, and documentation specialists all at once. And the stakes are high. If a rebuilt truck is improperly certified, it can be rejected at inspection, permanently blacklisted, or even seized if fraud is suspected. So while the idea of a ghost plate loophole sounds like a shortcut, the real system is actually the opposite. It's slow, heavily regulated, and extremely paperwork heavy. But when done correctly, it allows damaged or deleted trucks to return to the road safely instead of being wasted entirely. And that's really the core of it. Not loopholes, not ghosts, not secret tricks. Just a structured system that decides whether a machine deserves a second life. Still, the mystery persists because the transformation is so extreme. A crushed, totaled vehicle becomes something that looks brand new again. And unless you understand the process, it almost feels impossible. But now you know what's really happening behind the scenes. So the next time you hear someone talk about a ghost plate loophole, you'll know it's not a hidden cheat code in the system. It's usually just a rebuilt vehicle going through legal steps most people never see. And if anything, it shows how complex modern vehicle regulation has become, and how much work goes into making sure what's on the road is actually safe, traceable, and approved. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden systems behind everyday machines.